everyone, welcome back to RTS and welcome back to another segment of Kit Krunch. And in this Kit Krunch for the month of August, we have been playing with this Prima Saint-Tropez collection. And then of course I had a couple papers to go with that collection, but the rest was some Webster's pages and the nautical feel. And of course last week we did this using an 8.5 by 11 page, converting it to a 12 by 12 page using these papers, and it ended up wasn't anything nautical at all. Very fun. I will have that video linked below. So I have a fun story again this week, and it was something I didn't even know because I just got the photo a couple days ago. So excited. So playing off of this Saint-Tropez with the anchors and the sea and the ocean life, I'm absolutely going to record this story today about buried treasure. You just never know what you're going to scrap. So excited. So of course my dad sent me a photo the other day of this whole plate full of coins, and all it says in the caption of the photo says 322 coins. Well, my goodness, Dad, that doesn't tell me anything. Tell me more, tell me more. So I will tell you more about the story later on. And so, of course, I knew that since I had this kit on my desk, I was definitely going to print this photo and play with it this week. And again, so excited. Just so excited. Yes. And so I printed it in black and white because the original photo was all these coins. And, of course, you know, they're buried treasure, so it's not like they're shiny and new or anything. And the original photo, my dad had these on a neon plate with neon yellow and neon green. And I thought, well, that kills my mood and feel. So I printed in black and white, really didn't like it. So I ended up printing it in a sepia tone, and then I gave it a matte. So with this one photo, I printed in 3 different applications to get the one I wanted. So this is what I'm going to play with. That's my focal photo. So what I'm going to do is I thought what I would play with, of course, is anything to do with my anchors and my gold. I mean, I have all these gold anchors and geotags and stars. Just have fun with my supplies that I already had on my desk. Love it when a plan comes together. So my plan is to play with these journaling cards, and then I'm just going to pull a basic background because I want to play off of these cards. And so that's all I'm simply going to do is find a background and just get right to it. And of course, right there. That never gets old in my book. Never. I love that. If every one of my papers, oh, there's another one. Oh, sing to me, sing to me, sing to me. I love those. Okay, so then of course, right there's 2 wood grains. I didn't have to go very far, but you know, I have to see what else I got. That's okay. That was from last week. Those are, oh, no. Oh, okay, we got a map. That has to do with buried treasure. So what I'm going to do is just simply go through my kit papers, and I want to stay away from flowers because this is about buried treasure and my dad. So even though he likes flowers like I do, I'm going to keep that pirate life, buried treasure, nautical, that type of thing. Cameras would be good. But if I use this as a background, can't really tell. Well, there's anchors. That'll be good. There's more wood grain. And then I think I'm going to get back into the duplicates. Okay, so what I did was simply take my kit papers and I eliminated the ones that I know I'm definitely not going to play with. Now I have 4 papers left. That doesn't mean I'm going to play with all 4 papers, but tell me this isn't more manageable than that whole kit. Yes, and I will tell you right now, look at this color combination. Just look. We have navy, we have turquoise, we have a light wood grain, and then a white. Such a beautiful color combination. I'm going to take a photo of that for future reference. Yes, I am. Okay, so I already know what my title is going to be. It's simply going to be Buried Treasure. And so playing with these papers in front of me, haven't made a final decision. I'm going to go ahead and pull my title because I know what it's going to be. That would be nice. That wood grain, no pink. I'm going to stay away from the pink. That turquoise is pretty. That blue's pretty. Oh, no, that would be a fun take on that. See how these letters by Jelly Bean Soup, these are called Navy Diagonal. See how half of them are striped and half of them are white? It kind of looks like buried. Oh, that would be fun. Oh, yeah, that'd be cute. That'd be cute. Okay, so that's an option. I have this basic, just a gray, and then I have this. Oh, okay. So I'm going to eliminate my alphas now to just these 3. So that is process of elimination, and that just helps me get stuff off my desk. Even these scraps, I'm not going to play with them. That just helps me get everything off my desk. I love that. I really, really like that color combination. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is that I'm now going to play with some of these 3x4 cards, because my plan is to do a band. And this is what I wanted to play with even before I knew what my story was going to be. Isn't that interesting? Because I just wanted to do a band of these journaling cards, because this was one of my, this was the inspiration for the kit. So I thought, why not? So my plan is, of course I have a couple laying here from last week, is that I'm going to simply pick 6 or 8 of these 3x4 cards, and I'm going to make them in a band. Easy peasy. And then of course with this wood grain, whichever one I pick, I will pick an additional paper for a very background mat. Again, very simple page. And then I thought what I would do is pull out the embossing folders once again, and then I would run my journaling cards through these embossing folders. So I have waves, I have Swiss dots, and the anchors. I may do 1, 2, or all 3. Not sure, but I know I'm going to use an embossing folder. And I know I'm going to need the numbers 322. Isn't that fun? Yes. I'm just so excited to do this. And so then, of course, everything else that has to do with this mood and feel, I went ahead and pulled. And it's amazing to me when you put a kit together and you don't know what you're going to scrapbook. I always say that's the beauty. And that is a question I probably get every week. How can you make base pages? How can you make layout page kits? How can you make a kit when you don't know what you're going to scrapbook? I had no idea I was going to get this photo about this buried treasure. And isn't it something that in this washi tape it says explore and dream big? I love that. I am going to incorporate that somewhere on the page. And then of course this other washi that has gold, that's definitely mood and feel. And like I said, I have these pink paisley, this whole array of pink paisley of gold anchors, and of course arrows, and then stars and geotags. Perfect for buried treasure. And then I also had wood veneer. This wood veneer had some that said today. Happy, because my dad is happy with that buried treasure. And then of course, this is happiness. This is my life, because this is about metal detecting, and that's my dad. And things about me and little things, the little things in life that make you happy. So I just pulled those out of my wood veneer that was part of my kit. And I just pulled the ones that pertain to the story, and then also that pertain to my dad, because this layout is about him. Okay, so then I also have these here. They have a gold reflective in these gems. And I thought, oh yes, buried treasure, look like that. And of course these sea glass and anchors to go along with this. So what I'm going to do is simply pick out 6 or 8 of these journaling cards, figure out what I want, run them through the embossing folder, and then pick out my title, which is buried treasure. So depending on which one of these cards that I pick, let's just go through them, shall we? If you want to hang on a little bit, why not? Let's just get to playing. Yes. Now, these were left over from last week, so I'll just put them to the side. Okay. So I have to remember that I have 2 different wood grains. And how will I pick which one I want to play with? It will be depending on which of these cards I pick. Okay. So I'm looking for anything that has to do with buried treasure, pirate life, things like that. I definitely would not use that one, even though the buried treasure was found in the summer. I guess I could just leave through theirs. Oh, there's one. The stripe. And yes, the anchor, the boats, White House. What else do we have? Oh, this wood grain. Boy, that's pretty. Oh, no, I can't do the wood grain because I already got wood grain. No, that would not probably work. And then any of these ones, oh, there's one. Any of these that have an image on here that I really don't want, you know, I can always cover that up and layer. You know, I can always do a double mat of these journaling cards. So I will simply just sit here, put on a video, and go through these cards. Oh, map, yes. Go through these cards, and I'm just going to layer them in a band. But then I will run them through the embossing folder just to give a little bit of texture. So my design is going to be very simple. It's going to be a band. I got my title picked out. Where's my wax paper? Where's my wax paper? I gotta have wax paper. Yeah, my wax paper. And so then after I determine, and I think what I'm gonna do, I can already tell you, I'm gonna use that wood grain right there. Okay, so right there I just eliminated one. Because this is more warm, and I like it. Whenever I see wood grain, I think of my dad anyway. So now I can, if I want to, I can sit here and do my title of buried treasure, and it's going to be the gray. That's what I'm going to do. But I won't put these too far away because I need 322 somewhere on my page. So I will sit here and I will get out Buried Treasure, and then I will play with those journaling cards, and I will come back with a very simple page. It's not going to be complicated whatsoever. I'm going to play with my embellishments. And so that's what I'm going to do. My plan is to play with washi tape. My plan is to play with embossing folders, and then also to get some mood and feel of this gold. Yes, play with all my gold. So I will come back and let's see what I can create with this kit and Buried Treasure. Okay, hold on. All right, I thought I would pop in just for a couple minutes and show you a little bit about my middle process because I get asked that a lot, and I thought I would just exactly show that. So what I did is that I have my washi here and those pink paisley gold foam embellishments, and then of course my wood veneer and my title, and then all these little bits and bobs. So a lot of times what I will do, if I know my title, I will go ahead and put it on wax paper, and then all those little elements I want to play with, I just put some on a wax paper. It doesn't mean everything, it's just a representation of things I want to do on this page or use. The options are there, and so then I don't have to keep rummaging through all this packaging and all this product and all the stickers and all the chipboard, and you know what I mean? I just put it there. That doesn't mean I can't go reach for other things. This just really helps me limit, again, just as I limited my papers, this helps me limit my embellishments. And so then I did pick some of my 3x4 cards from this journaling note card set. And so what I'm going to do is I picked, I think, 8. I think that was what I did. Yes. And so I'm simply going to arrange them in such a manner like this. And I'm just going to create a band. Now, if you will notice that every one of those I ran through an embossing folder. Some I ran through with the anchor, some I ran through with the dots, and some I ran through with the waves. Just like how, I just really like how that little bit of an addition of an embossing folder really makes that great. So now what I'm going to do, and excuse if that has any glare, is that I'm planning on using this matte paper because we are talking about the subject of metal detecting, and my father has done this for about 50 years. I think maybe a little over 50 years that he has been metal detecting. So yes, this is just fun. So what I'm going to do is that I'm going to trim down a tad of this so that it will accommodate for my mat, and then perhaps I will use those little bit of pieces that I trim off. Maybe I can use them on my page somehow. Okay, and so I'm just going to trim off. I usually trim off about 3/4 from one side, and then also from one top or the bottom, and I like that. So I just trim off the one I don't like as much, and so then I keep these 2 pieces, and maybe I will use those on the page. Okay, so then what I'm going to do for this matte piece of paper is that I'm going to gut it. Okay, and so someone had asked me recently if I could show again how to gut a piece of paper, and so all I want, or I should say all I need, is this outer perimeter. So I just come in and I take off a series chunk of this, and how I determine how much I'm taking off when I have everything sitting here. Goodness gravy train. The desks are never big enough when you go to play. How I determine how much I'm going to gut is basically determined on the weight of what I have on top of it. So this is a really nice Webster's page. It's heavyweight, so I don't have to have another heavyweight piece behind it. So I can trim some, and I think I'm going to go and give a nice margin, but I'm not going to go skinny. And I'm trying to see where I ended there. I'm not going to go skinny with my trim, but you can see it's going to be a nice amount. And so what I'm using, and let me point to it, is that, let me see if I had a pencil. Okay, I'll point to it right here. On your trimmer blade, there is usually a little notch or an indicator somewhere that shows you exactly where your blade is, okay? And for me, it's right there, right there, right there, right there. Some people even take a marker, and they will absolutely fill in that little grid mark, and that will tell you where your blade is, and so then you can determine, okay, this is where I'm going to go, and this is where I'm going to stop, something like that. See, right there, I'm already getting that. And then I will just come down here and finish this, okay? And if it doesn't meet up, just keep on going, or use a pair of scissors and trim that out. Easy peasy. So I noticed that when some people do a gutting, that they will only use a thin mat. You can do that if the piece of paper on top is going to have some weight to it. But don't go too thin, because this really won't have much substantial, it won't hold its purpose, is what I'm saying. So that's just perfect. And so that is how much I gutted this right there. That's what I gutted. And I can definitely use that on this page or for another page. It's just another way to stretch a piece of paper, especially if you're paying 99 cents for a piece of paper. There's no need for me to have both of these heavyweight cardstocks as my base. That was my point. Okay, so what I will do is I will adhere that on top of that. Not a big deal. And then I'm going to start playing. But I wanted to show you that that is just my middle process. Just playing, playing, and playing, and playing. And again, I'm just going to take these 3x4 cards and I'm going to put them in a band and I will start adhering them down. Now, I think what my plan is that I'm going to go straight to the top and straight to the bottom. And then I think what I'm going to do is overlap and put one over top. And that's what I'm going to do. And I will just simply adhere those down. And my object is not to be so structured and so linear. Okay, so I think what I'm going to do, I think I will overlap that one. I had an idea here, okay, but I'm going to extend that band from clear down and clear to the top. And then, like I said, I'm going to overlap, and then I'm going to be a little cattywampus. I'm not going to be straight on perfection. I'm not going for that. And then, of course, my photo already has a mat, and I know I'm going to cover up "You Are My Anchor." It really doesn't matter what I cover up. No. And so this is a case in point. This 3x4 card says "Love You," even though I love my dad. I don't need that for the page. So I'm just going to overlap that, and so it doesn't really make a difference. And so I could bring my photo, I could bring it down here, so not too many of my images are covered. I could definitely bring it up here, or I could cattywampus it, cover up that seashell, because that really doesn't matter. And just keep working from that. And of course, here is my title of Buried Treasure. So then I just bring my wax paper over and I say, okay, where would be a good place for this? I could put it above here. Oh, you know what? I'm going to do something I did in just a layout not so long ago, is that I'm going to put that Buried Treasure right on top. I'm going to put it on top of the photo, but I'm also going to overlap and put some on the photo. That's what I'm going to do. And then just start playing. Just start playing with an embellishment cluster. That is the fun part. Now, since this is about buried treasure, I thought it would be nice if I could do a little bit of scene of nothing but gold. But we'll see how that goes. And then, of course, I have all my wood veneer to play with. So then also, too, with my washi tape, I made sure that I included a little bit on here so I don't forget to play with it. Because you know what happens is you get busy, you start adhering things down, and someone wants your attention, and then you forget what you wanted to use. And so that's why I like my wax paper, because even if I forget to use it here, at least something is on here to remind me to pull it. So that is how this page is coming together. Believe me, it's not nothing difficult. It's just very fun, because I did break out 3 more embossing folders on this page. Love that. Okay, so that is the middle process of my buried treasure. So I will start adhering things down, and I will come back with my finished cluster. I may do a visual triangle. I'm not quite sure. I have to leave room for my journaling, which I'll talk about that in just a minute. Hold on. All right, I am back with my fast finished page, and all I simply did was take those 3x4 journaling note cards from the Prima set and put them in a band form and then just overlap them. But I really, really enjoy having the look of those different embossed images on that paper, because it does add something to it. It's just a little something extra. Then, of course, to go along with my title of Buried Treasure, some of those are absolutely buried. Isn't that fun? Because this one is right here. It's underneath here. You don't even see that. So it's just a fun take on that. So then what I simply did was put my title, some of it, the word treasure, is on top of my photo. And I like how that turned out, again, because there was some dead space on that photo, and then it just ties everything in. And then what I did something different is that I haven't done this for a long time, is that I took my cluster here on the top left and I kept it in a linear fashion where everything, it has the same margin. I haven't done that for a long time. So of course my title was Buried Treasure, and then I put the number 322 on there because that's how many coins is on this plate that he found, 322. And then of course wood veneer today, and this piece of just this little sampling of this washi. It says Explore, and then I took some of those Prima and these Gina Marie enamel dots. And I'll have the link below for these enamel dots. It was a purchase I made this year. It was just a week moment, but these are very affordable. I'll have the link below. Gina Marie has really great things. And so then, of course, with my enamel dots and these crystals with that gold reflective nature. They are so pretty, so pretty. I didn't put them in a triangle sense. If you notice, what I did was I kept them linear, and I did the same thing down here, and down here. I kept them all in a linear fashion because when you're metal detecting, everything is going down into the ground. So that's why I just kept them in an up and down motion for this page. Just something little fun. Again, taking that mood and feel of what you're doing in the photos, what the story is about, and then making your embellishments to reflect that. Very fun. And then, of course, down here, I took some of that wood veneer again on top of some of that gold washi. So don't forget, your washi can really serve as a cluster base. This is just a great product. So many things you can do with that. And I took some of those pink paisley gold anchors, and again with those enamel dots and those Prima gems, kept them in that linear fashion. And I just simply put, this is happiness, because I'll talk about my journaling in a minute. But I want to show you my wood veneer. Up here, this is a jelly bean soup, and half of it is dipped or buried in this gray. And so what I wanted to do with my wood veneer down here at the bottom, I did the same thing. I took some, I didn't have gray. I didn't have a gray Sharpie, but what I did have was that I had a silver washi. So I wanted to show quickly how to do that, because wood veneer, and I'm just going to get one of these mason jars. Why not? Well, that says shine. Let me get a plain one. I want to show you that if your wood veneer has an image, okay, that says shine. This is a peach. It actually has a saying. These are actually burnt into the wood veneer. Wood veneers came a long way over the years. If you have wood veneer that is plain, don't forget you can dress them up. You can layer things on top of them, and then you can also dip them with your own color, just like that jelly bean soup. So how do you do that? Let me move that for a minute. You just find something that has a straight edge. Okay, and I'm just using a leftover piece of paper. And you just take a straight edge, and you use a marker or a Sharpie, and then you just use that straight edge as your line, and of course hold it down a little bit, and that is how you will get that dipped look. Isn't that fun? And then what I did was I made sure I went over it a couple times because I wanted a darker gray. So give it one application, let it soak in because it is wood. Let it soak in, and then give it another application. You can keep on going till you get the look you want. Isn't that funny? Fun. Funny? Fun? It's just wonderful. Absolutely. You can keep on going. I just love this because I don't use markers a lot in my scrapbooking. So to use a few of these Sharpies that I have to color wood veneer, I love that. So that is how you do that. You simply just use the straight edge of a scrap piece of paper and a marker and go to town. Isn't that fun? Yes. Okay, so that is how I did that because I wanted to mimic a little bit of that today. Jelly bean soup dipped. That was already done like that, and so I just did the sides of my wood veneer, said this is happiness, because there was some extra there. You'll see more in the close-ups. Now, another thing I did was I had some of these scraps left over, and so what I decided to do was make some photo corners. And so all I simply did was take this and I just layered it over there on the top left and the bottom right, ripped them, and then I just overlapped them, and then I just trimmed it on the back. So you can see more in the close-up. It's just two pieces of strap, strips or scraps of paper overlapped, and it looks like a photo corner. So I only did the top left and the bottom right because my design, even though I have a band in the middle, everything kind of follows in a diagonal sense in a little bit way. So I just made it very simple. And then another thing I did was, let's talk about journaling. Okay, or how about if I talk about one more thing I don't want to forget. When I had showed in the previous segment about gutting, don't forget that when you're done, if you think that your page needs a little bit more stability, break out some of that washi you don't care for and put it around that perimeter that you did gut, and that just holds it together a little bit better. This is a really nice sturdy page. I like using washi for that. Okay, so then the other thing I want to talk about is where is my journaling going to go, because I'll tell you a little bit about this story because it is about buried treasure, and a true pirate doesn't tell exactly where he found his treasure. Now, does he? No, but I do have some more details that I won't include on camera because it does talk about where this buried treasure was. But I will tell you where it's going to go and what is going to be some of it. So I had originally just did this here, and I just took a piece of white scrap and I gave it a scored edge just using my trimmer. And then I thought, oh, that looked kind of basic, and I thought, oh, a Bennett. How about a Bennett? Bennett. a banner shape or a pennant shape would look nice. So then I thought, oh, if I would put those together, and that's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to overlap them, and it just is something a little different for a journaling block. So that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to put my journaling on top of that scored mat right there. So what I'm going to write is exactly what my dad told me. It was 322 coins. So as I gave him some more, I asked him some more questions. He said to me that the total of these 322 coins was, let me look at my notes here, $26.81. Okay, well, you would think with 322 coins it would be a little bit more, but that's what it was. He says total was $26.81. His gas cost him $22. It was 15 hours of hunting, and the enjoyment was priceless. Now that, I thought, that's going on a scrapbook page. Yes, $26.81, but the hours that he did looking for this buried treasure, he considered priceless. So I'm definitely going to do that journaling verbatim as to what he told me. I'm going to put it on there, and then also to where it was located and the details more about that. And then also, as that story was evolving through our text messaging, he started to tell me some other things about how long he's been metal detecting, and most of his the rarest things he's found, some of the things that he's enjoyed the most. And so of course I will be doing a page about that. I don't know if I'll share that because, you know, like I said, a pirate never shares truly buried treasure. Yeah. And so then everything that he does with it, if he sells it, he keeps it, that type of thing. So just a fun, happy accident. I didn't know that my dad was going to send me this photo. So to have this kit to play with, I absolutely love this. And of course, playing with my tools. I love that. And then playing with something that was an inspiration for a kit starter. I love that as well. So that is what I have for today for this this start to finish and this buried treasure. I just love when you can just take an everyday event for some people and turn it into a story, because not only do I have this event, this was an ordinary event of metal detecting for my dad, but then asking him more questions and then getting his thoughts on things, I now got another bigger story that I can tell in the future. I just love how that works. So that's all I have for today at RTS. Come back next week. We're going to play with Kit Krunch again, and we're going to do a kit flip, but I don't think it's going to be very hard because I had a lot of double-sided papers and that Webster's Ocean melody line. So we'll see what we come up with, and then also too we'll see what type of story we record next week. Absolutely. So that's all I have for today for RTS. Come back, you never know what we're gonna do. Bye.